A client recently commissioned me to build an 8-foot sculpture of a tree entirely out of plywood. The only instruction? The edges had to match their company's signature blue. With no further references, I designed a tree that could stand independently on a sturdy base, and we got to work. First, I rented a truck and loaded it up with around 20 sheets of plywood, transporting them in batches to my shop. We started by cutting the base to 6 feet, then stacked and traced a rough outline of the sculpture's foundation. Using a jigsaw, we carefully cut along the lines, ensuring a mirrored shape for both sides. To create a strong, walkable structure, I used a pocket hole jig to attach dozens of precisely cut 2x4s, reinforcing the interior of the base. Once all the pieces were aligned, we secured everything together, forming a complete circular platform. While we constructed the base, animator extraordinaire Dan Pasto projected the tree design onto the plywood sheets, tracing each layer with precision. Since we were making a mirrored piece every time, everything had to be duplicated. Now you might be wondering, why not use a CNC machine for this? The answer is simple. We had just 5 days to complete the project, and every CNC facility I work with was booked. That meant 2 full days of meticulous hands-on jigsaw cutting, loud, dusty, and demanding absolute precision. While the branches were being cut, I repurposed our plywood offcuts to create a mosaic pattern on the base, mimicking the natural texture of bark. Each piece was carefully shaped, glued, and nailed into place. The design was entirely improvised, with curved cuts and layered elements, adding depth and character to the final look. The result? I think a striking abstract arrangement, each piece uniquely placed with purpose. Meanwhile, our lead painter got to work, coating the edges of every layer in the company's signature blue. Assembling the sculpture was a careful, multi-step process. Using my pocket hole jig, we secured the edges of the base, then methodically stacked each plywood layer, applying wood glue, clamping them in place, and fastening them with screws. The final top layer was attached with a mix of screws and brad nails, leaving only minor holes to be filled with wood putty. As a final step, our painter added texture and shading to enhance the bark effect, bringing this entire sculpture to life. Off camera, Chris Schreier made over 200 wood leaves and hand-painted each one in a variation of the different blues. The tree sculpture is finished. We are looking at only a quarter of it. There is a mirror piece that looks exactly like this that goes on the other side and creates a 360 tree. I had a great team. I had amazing painters and woodcutters, and we just went to town for 5 straight days, just endlessly cutting and sanding and painting to make this thing. I'm so proud of it. It's so rare that I get to make large-scale sculptures, especially like this. The client came to me and I asked for reference. I said, okay, can you give me some examples? And they said, we don't have anything, we just have this idea. You know, what do you want to make? No one ever says, we got money for this project, what do you want to make? This is an absolute dream. This is everything I'm working for, is to be an independent artist. But here it is, I'm just so proud of it. It's a beautiful, beautiful sculpture. It's very detailed, it has lots of energy to it. Especially when you look at it kind of from the side, you can really see the layers. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed watching us make this thing from start to finish, because I had an awesome time making it. As far as I'm aware, this sculpture is still standing on Idlewild's campus.